welcome once again to Voice of the Coast. Very happy to have with us tonight the new commanding officer of the United States Coast Guard Marine Safety Unit, Morgan City, Commander Joshua Weidman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I was going to say welcome to the area, but this is actually your third posting in this area.
That is correct. The first time was from 2008 to 2011 when I was stationed at Morgan City, and then in 2014 to 2017 when I worked over in the Homa Coast Guard office. And so I had the opportunity to return, and my family jumped on that opportunity, and we're back down here for another 3 years.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, a small place called Schaeferstown. It is about 30 minutes east of Hershey, Pennsylvania. So everyone enjoys the chocolate, so that's what I use as a reference point.
And how did you get into the Coast Guard?
Yes, so I graduated from Massachusetts Maritime Academy with a degree in marine safety and environmental protection, and that was really a stepping stone into the Coast Guard for me. Following graduation, I went into the Direct Commission Officer program, where I did a short stint of training at the academy, and then found my orders and directions down to Marine Safety Unit Morgan City as a prevention officer.
Okay. When you look at career paths in the Coast Guard, obviously it's a branch of the military, but probably not as wide a choice of career paths you can take, for example, as what you might be able to do in the Marine Corps or the Air Force. What's available in the Coast Guard, and how did you get into the career path that you're in right now?
So we have what I would consider two main paths, which is a response kind of operations response and going offshore, doing your cutters or your aviation, that type. And then there's also operations ashore, which is more focused on prevention and pollution response type activities. And so growing up, I had a love for the outdoors and the environment. Following my degree at Massachusetts Maritime Academy, went into the prevention career path for the Coast Guard. Started off here in Morgan City, as I mentioned, as a marine inspector, where I looked at vessel compliance with our U.S. codes and regulations.
And just kind of a sidetrack, really, but I remember at the change of command last month, Commander Gilday in her comments really gave you the strong impression that the rivalry between Coast Guard and Navy is real. How do you feel about that?
It is definitely there. I think the military is a great family. And like any family, there's a little jabbing and harassing, and you know, but at the end of the day, you're family.
Yeah.
And so we do kind of give some jabs to the different services. Of course, they do for us also. You know, we stick to the shallow waters. They go to the deeper waters, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, I really think it's a family. We all recognize that the military is a family, and we do look out for each other, though there are times that we kind of pick on them.
And we were talking a little bit before the show about how you get the postings that you get. And I imagine with seniority and accomplishments, you get a little wider latitude in getting the postings that you want, as opposed to the Coast Guard saying, this is where we need you, this is where you're going. Is that how it happened in the beginning? Did you really have a choice to come down here to Morgan City at the beginning?
So let me start with this post here, I would argue, is 17 years in the making. And what I mean by that is when I first came in, I didn't know anything about Morgan City, but it was just a location on this list that the assignment officer gave me. I put it down and came here. Don't regret it at all. Had a great experience, got the qualifications as a Marine inspector and as a prevention officer that I needed. After that, I went to Sector Northern New England, where I had an opportunity to get investigative work. So another kind of subspecialty of prevention. Due to my performance and my qualifications there, I had the opportunity to come back down to the Gulf at Homa as the Chief of Inspections Division. So again, another a little bit higher responsibility based off of my performance and my qualifications. From there, I went to Coast Guard headquarters. Every officer kind of has to do a tour at that location, so that was my opportunity. Coming out of there, I was selected for 04, Lieutenant Commander, and I went to Marine Safety Unit Huntington, West Virginia. That's right, there's Coast Guard in West Virginia, as the executive officer. right? So again, another leadership advancement within my career path. And then had the opportunity to come back here as commanding officer. So really, this job is 17 years in the making of taking those opportunities, getting career advancement and promotions.
Okay, great. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Voice of the Coast. Stay with us. Welcome back to Voice of the Coast. We're visiting with the new commanding officer of the Coast Guard's Marine Safety Unit, Morgan City, Commander Joshua Weidman. Commander, as you come in, first of all, people may not know what the specific areas of responsibility are for Morgan City. And here I'm talking about waters. What waters does Morgan City patrol?
Yeah, so we look at the Gulf Intercoastal Waterway. We also look at the Atchafalaya River, and then kind of north as you go out of Morgan City, we look at what we consider the Port Allen route for our towing vessels. And so to the west of us, we have a Lafayette unit that we partner well with, and then of course to the east is the Houma area.
Now, your last posting here was, like you say, about 8-10 years ago. How has this area's responsibilities and needs as far as the Coast Guard goes, how's it changed in that time?
So I think over that time frame, upon returning and talking with the unit personnel on what is Morgan City doing today, one of the things that I recognize is there's more new construction, or at least it appears to me, not being here for 10 years, that there's more new construction that's being built in the Port of Morgan City. So instead of maybe doing more existing marine inspections and vessel compliance, we're actually helping industry build those vessels. We have dredges. We're actually currently working on a RoRo, a roll-on, roll-off vessel, which will, I think the intentions are to go be part of the space program, launching rockets from the ocean and everything like that. So we've definitely changed from, I think, that small crew boat industry to more of a new construction.
So is the Coast Guard on site at these shipyards and places that are constructing? Are you there kind of advising along the way, or do you just get called in periodically to do
so
something?
There are times where we are required to see certain operations in certain parts of that new construction. There are also other times where maybe that part of the construction is done and then we come and verify it. So we work very well with the shipyard. We have great marine inspectors right now, learning and qualified, that are out there in the shipyards every day. And so we're answering those calls, whether it be scheduled or something that we pick up a day or two later. We're really helping the industry with building those vessels.
Now, when you talk about inspection, unfortunately, it's a sad state of the time that and at least in some areas, the Coast Guard has a lot to do with law enforcement. Does that affect the Morgan City office at all? Do you find you're having to do a lot of interdiction of, say, incoming drug traffic off the water?
So the Morgan City office does not specifically get involved with that type of law enforcement. One thing that our office does look at would be credentialing of our mariners. And so we do have investigative officers that look at the credentialing, and there are certain requirements to hold those credentials, of course. One of them is, drugs and alcohol. And so if a mariner were to be positive for that during some sort of scenario, our investigating officers would look at potential enforcement on their license, or misoperation or misconduct on their license. So we do have law enforcement, I would say, but not in your traditional manners of drug trafficking types. It's more of a, almost like your driver's license, right? Like, how would we hold you accountable for your driver's license?
Right, so most of what your responsibility involves safety of the vessels, and environmental type things.
Yes, that would be our primary focuses.
Okay. As you're coming in, and I know you've only been on site again for a couple of weeks, what do you feel like you're doing really well right now? And by that I mean the Marine Safety Unit. What's the unit doing well, and what do you feel like you might have to change to evolve with the way things are going?
So I think one thing that we're doing very well is our partnerships within industry, our partnerships within the community. Commander Gilday did a great job with being involved in the community, and I think that is something that our unit does well and that we will continue to do, is to get involved and stay involved within our community. Moving forward, I think it's always a challenge as a leader to remain ready and relevant. As I mentioned, the Morgan City of yesterday is not the Morgan City of today, and it won't be the Morgan City of tomorrow. And so as a leader, looking at what skill set our Coast Guard has and our skill set that's coming here, we need to make sure that we're ready for what tomorrow holds for the Port of Morgan City.
All right, tell you what, the time has flown by. We appreciate you coming in, and we're glad to have you back here in Morgan City.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time on Voice of the Coast. Have a great night.